Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we will discuss about another scenario for tail command. Mainly, we are going to see how we can utilize the tail Qshell command in order to fetch data from multiple files with a single command. Okay, because in previous sessions, like we have already discussed how to use tail command to fetch the data, but that time we were just using the single file. But in project there might be requirement where you are supposed to use multiple files. Now in those situation we can use tail command because tail command can be used to fetch data from multiple files. Okay, so that process we are going to discuss in this session. Now to initiate this session, what we will do, firstly I'll tell you the requirement. We will understand what is the requirement to use this scenario and what are project specific things which we need to take care while fetching the data from multiple files. And once everything is clear, then we will perform some practical things using Qshell command prompt. There I'll write some commands and queries. Then we will discuss, we will try different scenarios, like uh, suppose you have fetched the data from multiple files, right? Now that data we also want to redirect to any particular file in order to save the data. So that thing we will cover. Also, like we will identify like how we can append the data of a file into data of multiple file into any specific file. Okay, means how to uh, transfer the data, or how to append the data of how to transfer and append the data that we have fetched from multiple files. Clear? So this is how we are going to proceed for the session, and we will start with the requirement. To understand the requirement, firstly we need to write here work lnk. Now what is work lnk? It is a command to open the work with object link screen. So once you hit enter, it will open this work with object links, and on this screen, like it will show us the by default directory. So in our case, the by default directory is /home/Sharmit. Because my username is Sharmit, that's why it is showing as /home/Sharmit. Now in your case, let's say if your username is abc, so in that case the default directory would be /home/abc. Now why we are talking about this? Because if you are not providing any path for a file, then it always look into this directory. And in case of in case of file creation, if you are not providing any path, then that the command will create your new file into this directory. Okay, that's why it is very important to understand why we are using this by default directory. Okay, now for example, we need two files because we are going to fetch the data from multiple files. That's why I'm going to show you two files that we are going to use for the demo purpose. The first file is abc.txt, which contains some test data. So here I have stored some test data like test row 1 to test row 25. Okay, and now understand the requirement. Suppose this is the first file, and maybe your client or your colleague has asked you to fetch bottom 3 records from this. So what you can do, you can use tail command, because with a single command we know how to fetch the data, right? So in the same manner you can fetch the bottom 3 records here. Then we will see the another file. Another file is let's say we have another file as uh, abcd.txt. Okay, so this is the file. So from the here we want to fetch bottom 3 records again. Okay, so we are interested to fetch bottom 3 records from two files. One is abc.txt and another one is abcd.txt. So for that we can copy the path of one file because both are available on the same directory. Then you just need to write here qsh, because we want to discuss the practical things. So for that we just need to write here qsh, then simply hit enter. On pressing enter, it will open the Qshell command entry screen, and here what we will do, we will simply write tail, then space, then the first file path. So in my case the first file path is /home/Sharmit abc.txt, then space, then after space you can write second file path, which is /home/Sharmit/abcd.txt. Okay, And here, if you are not providing any n number, then by default it will fetch the bottom 10 records. But in our case, we are interested in only bottom 3 records. So you can simply write like this: tail space -3, then the first file path space second file path, and if let's say if you want to include more file, you can simply add few more files here. Okay, it is totally depend on your situation how you want to use it. Then simply hit enter. On pressing enter, it will return you the data, which is a combined output from both the files. So firstly, it is showing us the header, which is like this: /home/sharmit/abc.txt. Then bottom 3 records, because here we have passed the -3, which is for bottom 3 record. Then second file header, and then the bottom 3 records of the second file. Okay. So this is how we can fetch the data from multiple file using tail command. Now there might be one question, like, can we redirect this output to any particular file? Yes, we can. For that, you just need to write here right angular bracket, then a space, and then you can provide the file name. Now here, if this file is already there in your system, then it will replace the data. But if it is not there, then it will create a new file in your location. Okay. So here I'm going to replace the data, so I will just simply hit enter here. On pressing enter, it shows the dollar symbol. That means the command has been executed successfully and there is no error. So if there is no error, that means we are done with the process. So now we are good to check whether the file contains the data of our output or not. So for that, you can simply write cat then space, and here you can put your file name. So my file name is aabb.txt, and then simply hit enter. So you can see it is showing us the exact data that we have retrieved from two files, which was abc.txt and abcd.txt. Now another question would be like, why we are not providing any path? Because as I told you, that if you are not providing the file path, then by default it look into our home directory or default directory, which is /home/Sharmit. Okay, so yeah, these are the all steps which we need to take care while performing this operation. And another thing is data pending. Let's say this file contains the data, and now I want to append from data from other file. Let's say here we will make it as rrpgle.txt. Okay, and here let's keep it as same abc.txt. So now in order to append data, you can simply write here two angular bracket, then simply hit enter. It is completed, so you can run the same command cat space, and here we will write aabb.txt, then hit enter. You can see it is printing us the, firstly it is printing the old data, then the data which we have appended right now. Clear? And one more important thing I want to tell you, like let's say if you want to change the order of your data, then in that case you can simply change the order of your file, because whatever the file you kept first, it will pick the data from that only. Okay, so here I'm again appending the data, and this time you can see it is written in the same manner, like firstly it writes the rrpgle.txt and then abc.txt. But remember one thing, this file also contains the old data. So firstly it will show the old data because we have appended the data. Okay, so aabb.txt, and you can see on last record, firstly it is printing the rrpgle.txt and then abc.txt. Clear? So yeah, these are the all steps that we need to take care while performing these options. Now we will quickly see how we can use the same things through CL program. So for that, just simply write work mbrpdm, and here I have already created one program, so I'll quickly show you this. So this program is to use the tail command for multiple user. Simply write dcl here, take F4, provide your variable name, storage, type and length. So if you don't know the basic, then I request you to go and check out the previous session, because there we have already discussed these things. And once your variable is declared, then you can write chgvar, take F4, provide your variable name and command. So in my case command is tail space -2 space abc.txt rry.txt. So what it will do, it will fetch the bottom two records from both the file and print it. Then simply write strqsh, provide your variable name, and we are good with it. So it's time to compile this program and see the output. So once I call it, you can see it is fetching the records from both the files and bottom two records only. Clear? So yeah, these are the all things which we can perform with tail command in terms of multiple files. I hope this thing is clear to all of you. In the next session, we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.